तमाम दोस्तों को या अली मदद
Mola Ali Madad.
Mola Ali Madad.
and thank you
Mola Ali
for joining
Madad.
us. Thank you ya Ali
Mola Ali
Madad.
Madad.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We have
Thank you.
thank you. We have our two speaker guests. We have known them for over a couple of years now. They are great speakers and they are our Ilmi friends. Yasmin Karim from Vancouver, Canada, and Dr. Rubina Saiba from Karachi, Pakistan. They will help us on this subject that we are on for this month of the Ramzan, and they will show a different look into the month of Ramzan and the understanding of the Roza and its batin. Inshallah Ta'ala. Yasmin, welcome.
Thank you, Azizba. Ya Ali Madad, for yourself and all friends online.
Ya Mola Ali Madad.
It's really great to be with you all. Happy Ramzan Kareem. As we all know, the topic today is the Ismaili perspective of fasting in the month of Ramadan. I will look at the meaning of the word Ramadan and then also fasting and its purpose, which is Laylatul Qadr. So this weekend was special because all the Abrahamic faiths were celebrating together, but I just want to focus on this one sentence here of our beloved Nur Maulana Shakir Hussain Hazri Imam, where he talks about freedom of religion is a critical value in a pluralistic society.
Eid al-Fitr.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so a little bit of a recap. Islam is based on 7 pillars, right? And the first pillar is walaya, which is love and devotion to the Imam of the time. That's walaya, or wilaya, accepting the authority of the Imam of the time, right? The second pillar is taqwa, purity. It's interesting to note that the second pillar is taqwa, and then fasting, Som, is the 5th pillar. Okay? But what has made Ismailism so unique, right, and so fluid, so all-encompassing? In Imam's words, Ismailism has survived because it has always been fluid. And this revolutionary concept of monorealism is also given to us by our beloved 48th Imam. Azamul A'imma, Hazrat Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, our souls we sacrifice for him again and again. And then this very profound farman, Makila filahi fahuwa fina, wa makila fina fahuwa fil bulagai min shiatina. Whatever is said about Allah is about us, and whatever is said about us is about those of our followers who are advanced. How is this all related to the month of Ramadan and fasting? So if we understand the purpose of fasting is to lead us to the highest didar, to take us to our destination, then we can make a very beautiful link, and it gives us a lot of hope, as the greatest 21st century poet Allama Sahib says, "Hai dur bahut ilmi safar tez chala chal, Amna hai ye raah nadar tez chala chal," right? So our destination is really, really far, but Imam is actually giving us shortcuts. So when we obey the Imam of the time, we are propelled. Right? This is a very important farman. Momin ki ruh hamari ruh hai. As we are exploring fasting in the month of Ramadan, how human body is the temple, the divine spark, right? And so the question that comes to mind is, how is that possible? Which part of our soul becomes the ruh of the Imam of the time? So obviously it's not nafse amara. Is it nafse lawama? No, we still have to transcend all the way to nafse mutmainna. And how can we do that? So we have to remove the veil. Each single step of the way, we have to, through our understanding and ilmi practices and ilmi understanding. Okay, knowledge is so important in this equation. But remember the bird, yeah? All right, this is another important farman of Mullah Ali, as well as the hadith, right? Where Holy Prophet says that he who recognizes his soul indeed recognizes his Lord. You think that you're a small body when the whole cosmos is encompassed in you, right? The great universe is contained in you. How hopeful we can become just understanding these very beautiful words, right? That we are a personal world and not a small body. Like Alam Sagir is a Sufi word, small world, but Allama Sahib talks about the personal world, which is a very revolutionary concept. So again, how can we attain the experience of Fanafillah and Bakabillah? And that is through the spiritual and intellectual fast. The word Ramadan is the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. And the number 9 is also symbolic because in keeping with Quranic science of numbers, 9 also is the number of Asas, but we'll not go there right now. So Ramzan is one of the names of God. As Holy Prophet himself says, do not say Ramzan has come or Ramzan has finished. Why? Because Ramzan or Ramadan is the name of Allah, the exalted, the lofty, right? The month of God, which is Shahrullah, is also called Shahrul Ramzan. So this confirms the ta'wil of Ramadan, which is cited in Wajiddin, that the month of Ramadan is in the personality in whom the Holy Quran is revealed. If I may ask a question to any one of you, what is the language of the Holy Quran?
Arabic.
No. Thank you for coming forward. It will help us remember this point, right? That the language of the Holy Quran is not Arabic. The language of the Holy Quran is light, it's nur. It was revealed through the experiences that the Holy Prophet went through. Arabic happened to be the language of the day in Arabia, just like Hebrew was the language of the day. Yeah? And therefore, there's a Quranic verse which says that the Holy Quran speaks in every language because it is the language of wisdom. Okay? So the language of the Holy Quran is that of wisdom. The key Farman, Mullah Ali alayhi salam has said, I am the meaning of Ramadan, and I am Laylatul Qadr, mentioned in the mother of the book. Mother of the book, Kitab, right? Surah Shifa. My utterance is decisive, for I am Surah of Al-Hamd, which is Surah Shifa. I am the purpose of prayer itself. I am the purpose of fasting. I am the Lord of resurrection and judgment. This is very profound, and in some sources, this line is actually omitted, okay? But the actual source, Khutbatul Iftihar, which is glorification of Mullah Ali, or Khutbatul Bayan, self-introductory discourses of Mullah Ali says it about himself, that I am the Lord of resurrection and judgment. So what did Mullah Ali do here? So he's saying first that he is the meaning of Ramadan. He is Laylatul Qadr. He is the purpose of fasting, and he is the Lord of resurrection and judgment. In the month of Ramadan, we are of course celebrating Laylatul Qadr. Celebration of Laylatul Qadr is actually the intention of fasting, which is spiritual upliftment and preparation for Laylatul Qadr. Okay, so the answer of what or who is Laylatul Qadr is given in Surah Qadr 97. Now we know that the month of Ramadan is actually the name of Allah Himself, or as Mullah Ali has said, I am the month of Ramadan, right? So then we see that in the month of Ramadan, we are celebrating Laylatul Qadr, which is actually referring to the Hujjat of Qa'im, the living Nur. I mean, this is a reflection point. It's not my topic to go in detail for this right now. The glorious imamat of our 48th Imam, why is it so unique? Why is it so special? Can we see that the angels have already descended as per Surah Qadr, right? And we can look at Hazrat Imam's words where he says that you have lost the finest Imam we have ever had. And it would be important to mention here that the works of Professor Allama Nasiruddin Hunzai, the recognition of Qa'im, is very important. And Dr. Fakir Muhammad Hunzai says that Allama Sahib not only explains the meaning of the terms such as Hujjat-e-Qaim, Hazrat-e-Qaim, Khalifa-e-Qaim, but also identifies them. So why is this so important? Because we are talking about Ismaili perspective of fasting and Ramadan. Therefore, I had to make this connection here. So fasting, what is fasting then? And what is the difference between the physical fast, the spiritual fast, and the intellectual fast? And how can spiritual and intellectual fast prepare us for this night of Qadr? So we see that fasting actually means to abstain from things that we habitually do. It is in Arabic, it's called Swam, and it is the fifth pillar of Islam. We also know that this is the best time through collective prayers for us to dissolve our carnal soul, because when we do intense prayers in Giryazari, the carnal soul dissolves and it softens the earth, our personal earth, which then is ready to fertilize the seeds of the knowledge and wisdom. Okay? Fasting, the purpose of fasting, the first purpose of fasting is purity, taqwa, which is the second pillar of Islam. And as the Quranic verse, Surah Baqarah 2, ayat 183 says, O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that due to which gradually you may attain taqwa. Okay? So this beautiful ayat tells us two things immediately, right? First is that prescription of fasting was there before Islam. So it's a pre-Arabia tradition. Okay. Second, that we may gradually attain taqwa. Okay? The highest level of taqwa or purity is mono-reality. Okay? The importance and usefulness of hunger in all world religions is so sublime that it is given the status of supreme ibadat. Physically, we all know the benefits of fasting, and there's so many benefits from mental health to psychological health to curing diabetes and so much more. Our focus is on the forms of fasting at the level of hakikat where we are, right? So at the level of hakikat, the physical sharia, the form, the material form is very different. Just like in the example of the tree, right? So we have leaves, flowers, raw fruit, ripe fruit. So if we have that example in understanding the forms of Sharia and the forms of fasting, it becomes very easy for us. When given the opportunity, share our form of fasting. Do we tell our friends and our colleagues in Ismailism, the fasting is 365 days, which is through our thoughts. The form of fasting will depend on which level one is on Sirat al-Mustaqim. And it is important for us as Ismailis, I think, to share with others that we are at the level of Hakikat and what our form of fasting is. For us, Nur Maulana Shah Kamal Hussaini Hazri Imam, the present Imam, gives us guidance. He makes changes. And you all know this wonderful Nurani words of our 48th Imam, where he talks about fasting with our intentions, fasting with our thoughts, 365 days, right? That's what's mandatory for us. not even to hurt anyone. Even for a second, we must not forget the divine remembrance. And this then brings us closer and closer to He who is above all else. And then it also helps us fulfill this hadith and nawafil, because remember, fasting involves our five senses, right? Physically as well as spiritually. And it would be important to remember Dua Nur here and make a connection with it. Everybody knows how hard it is to fast with our actions and deeds and do best practice as compared to just physical fast, because all these are the essence of the physical fast, right? Keep our eyes pure, our thoughts pure, our heart in remembrance of the divine. So Imam Mustan Sribila in Pandyati Jawan Mardi reminds us that the whole year you must fast, just as the Zahiris, the literalists, fast 1 month, right? So he's actually distinguishing us and the Zahiris, because we are the Batinis, right? So he's saying that for us as Batinis, we have to fast the whole year, not just 1 month. Yeah? And then he's explaining the purpose of riyazat is spiritual exercise. And then he reminds us that we must always watch ourselves so that the mirror of our heart is gradually polished so that it can reflect the divine. Yeah. Historic event, Qiyamatul Kubra, the big resurrection. This is really important because remember we are talking about the changing in form of our fasting. So before, yes, we used to do the physical fast, we did the namaz, the zakat and everything, right? But gradually our forms have changed. And Imam Salam, in the month of Ramadan, in the middle of the day, told the murids of the day to break their fast, right? And celebrate Eid-e-Qiyam. Now, this was maybe a test for the murids of the day, how beautiful it would be to obey the command of the Imam of the time and break the physical fast, right? And this historic event is called Qiyamatul Kubra, Big Qiyamat, because it starts the beginning of a new cycle, which is of pure wisdom and the cycle of spirituality. So this was the beginning of the cycle of spirituality. And as we see in this diagram here, I have made based on Allama Sahib's teachings that there are 7 heavens and 7 earths. And we see here that this cycle of unveiling, this day, the Saturday, is actually the day where Akli Shariat is introduced. It is the time of Hazrat Hujjat-e-Qaim and Hazrat-e-Qaim. And these are all connected with the meaning of Ramadan. Again, as mentioned earlier, every level on Sirat al-Mustaqim has a different form of fasting, okay? But the key principle should be remembered that at every stage, every part of the other is present. So we have seen this diagram before where we see that at the level of Sharia, the practice of Marifat is only 15%, but for Hakikatis, where we are, the truth, the Ismailism, we practice 25% of the Ma'rifah. Yeah. What is the Ismaili perspective of all this, right? So Imam Jafar Sadiq has said that everyone has a foundation and the foundation of Islam is loving us. So what is the foundation of Islam? The first pillar, walaya, right? Devotion to the Imam, love for the Imam of the time. Without love for the Imam of the time, the love for Holy Prophet is not attained and therefore love for Allah is not possible. Imam Muhammad al-Baqir has truly said that love for the Ahlul Bayt is a duty placed upon every believer. This is from Surah Shura also, right? Now look at the words. He says it is a duty, right? Something we need to do. The esoteric and the intellectual fasting is more important. The essence of the physical fast has to be upheld through our thoughts, our actions, our deeds, our values, practicing Islamic ethic, first and foremost, which is humility, which is to accept our weakness in front of the divine. And in the fourth part of dua, that we should obey the ulil amr, it would be important here to mention the concept of Ali Allah, because it again relates with the esoteric aspect of fasting in the month of Ramadan, right? Which is the name of Allah. It is Mawla Ali himself, and in our cycle, the glorious imamat of our 48 imam. What did Imam give us? What treasures, what rewards, what bounties did we get from our 48 imam? Remember, please, that Nur is always one, but just the functions differ according to the time, okay? So the most profound teaching that Imam gave us was that of Ali Allah. There's a Quranic verse which says, know Allah from Allah. How can we do that, right? It's by understanding the concept of Ali is Allah. What does Ali Allah mean? Why did Imam say that Ali Allah is right? And this is the time when we are permissible to openly say Ali Allah, right? So look at what Surah Shura says. Say, O Muhammad, unto mankind I ask you no reward except for love and friendship of my relatives. So as ambassadors of Islam, how can we share with humanity our form of fasting? Remember, there's no judgment saying I'm right, you are wrong, but the idea is mutual respect. And that is so very important, because until and unless we are comfortable, and until and unless we ourselves share with everybody what is our form of fasting, we will always be judged from the Sharia point of view. And inshallah, we'll explore it through Q&A. Thank you, everybody. Yeah,
So there are basic premises for Deen, or basic premises for Islam, which is Deen-e-Fitrat, a natural religion. So if any ibadat, whether be it zakat, salat, roza, namaz, so these all are the forms of ibadat, and these ibadat are done in the Islamic perspective. But then what is Islam, which religion the Islam is, which is mentioned in Quran. Ali Allah said that in Surah 30, ayat 30, Fitratallah allati fatarannasa alayha la tabdila li khalqillah. खुदा की फितरत वही है जिस पर इंसान को पैदा किया गया. So if we see this one only, that fitrat means nature. So Islam is actually dependent or understandable in terms of nature, and Islam is a natural religion. Now, the law of nature of Allah is according to which He has created the human being, and there is no change in the creation of Allah, and this is Deen-e-Qaim. But most people do not know. So in this ayat, Allah explains that Islam is, or the nature of God, or actually the nature of Islam is according to how human being is created and how human beings are behaved naturally. So Islam being the natural religion, and it needs change. When a human being is born, he is, every time there is jiddat, every time there is a change, every time there is like dimensions are changed. And Ismaili is the religion which is elaborated, enhanced, and enriched form of Islam, because there is a progression, there is a dynamism. So nature is always going through the progression, and we cannot stop where we are. So our ibadat, form of ibadat, will not be remain same every time. At the time change, at the age change, at the needs change, the forms of ibadat needs to be changed. So Islam is like Imam Sultan Ahmad Shah has said, that Islam is fundamentally in its very nature a natural religion, Throughout the Quran, God's signs are referred to as natural phenomena, and the law and order of the universe um, um, is also like it's a, we are looking that it's always being changing. So when we see the nature, there is a progress, there is a growth, there is a movement from fetus. Fetus become infant, then infant become child, child become adolescence, then become adult. And if we see anything in the nature, like roots become trunk, then it grows into branches and leaves and flowers and fruit. So it grows and grows till we go to the destiny. So steps of the progress actually are hidden and it appear progressively. For example, if you see seeds, there are a trunk, branches, leaves, flowers, fruits, they all are in the seed, but it appears gradually. In a child, the future of the child, the adult appearance of the child, the adolescence appearance of the child is already hidden in that child. It will not shown there and then, but it will be shown gradually. And once the human age is progress, it is very difficult, but it is not possible to regress. So once a child become adult, it is not possible for that adult to become child again. If there is a child cannot become fetus again, umbilical cord which is cut cannot be reconnected. So once there is a flower, it cannot become bud again. So this is the natural phenomena that once the deen and Islam has progressed, it is not, we cannot go into regression and then reconnect to the other level. So the progression is the aim of Islam, and once you progress, the regression is not possible. So that's the reason Allah's, one of the Allah's name is rope of Allah. So rope means you catch the rope and then you progress to the upper level. So path of Allah, Sirate Mustaqim is to progress. Sirate Mustaqim, there are levels. We all know Shariat, Tariqat, Haqiqat and Marifat. So that path is for to move, path is for to progress. Nobody stays in any path. We do not make our house in the path and we stay in the path. रास्ते में कोई घर नहीं बनाता. So that has to progress, a person has to progress to the level, and that's why Allah has said that he is Rafi'ud Darajat. He is the one who take moving from one level to other and till arsh. So where Allah himself is sitting, he wants a moment to be there with him. So if his idea or if his aim is to progress every moment towards the arsh, that means there is a progression and there is no regression. Once we go into one level and pass that level, we will not go back again to that level. Like for example, once the school has passed and a person has gone to the college or to the university, then that person would never be like to go to the school again. So the progression is very important in Islam, which is very much appropriate to the nature. So the progression requires change in the forms, but the principles of Islam, principles will remain same. So forms of prayers, form of fasting changes from time to time as the circumstances changes, but the principles of fasting will remain the same. Like in the time of Holy Prophet, the principle of fasting is taqwa, as Yasmin has clearly explained that it is taqwa, it is getting the noor, it is meeting with mono-reality. So these are all principles of fasting, and the main principle of fasting is taqwa. But the form of fasting has changed. Like Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah has said, that our religion is like that of man who gets photographed every 10 years. Each time image is different, but the man is same. So he will not look the same as at 90 as he looked at 10. So similarly, fundamental principle of religions remain same, but outer forms change. Now the outer form, we can talk now, we can speak about the outer forms. Who is responsible to give us the teaching about the outer forms of changing? And we have historically seen that Imam of the time is responsible to adjust the forms of the fact, forms of the principle, like Imam Sultan Ahmad Shah has written in one of the foreword of book Mercy to All Nation. He says that Muslims have kept till now to the forms of prayers and fasting at the time of Prophet. So we were fasting at the time of Prophet, even we were fasting at the time of Imam Jafar Sadiq, Ismail, and all those Imam till 23rd Imam. So, but it should not be forgotten that this is not true form of prayers and fasting that have been commanded, but the facts, and we are entitled to adjust the forms to the facts of life as circumstances changes. So this is very important quotation, that who is entitled to adjust the form? Imam of the time, because um, uh, um, he is the leader of Amr. So Amr minkum means he is the one who gives Amr. So he is the one, or Imam of the time is the one who give us the forms of all like fasting, of all ibadat. So form of ibadat will change, but the principle will remain the same. And Yasmin has clearly explained that every time in Shariat Tariqah, these forms have changed. Why? Because in the Shariat, the marifat is only 15%, but at the time of Haqiqat and the marifat, the level of recognition of Imam is always changing. And it is increasing, it is progressing. So for us to progress, for Muslims, Ismaili Muslims to progress, it is important that we reach up to the level of destiny. And the destiny which Imam has said, that is the Noor, my Noor is the destiny, mono reality is the destiny, meeting Imam and Wahdat, making one in the Imam is the destiny. So, and other progression is also moving from Zahir to Batin, increasing the Batini progress and reducing the Zahiri Shariati forms. So, that's the reason Imam Allah Zikri Salam said that when he asked people to get free from the fast and to break the fast in the Alimot period, he said in the 17th Ramzan 559 Hijri, he said that मैं आपका इमाम ज़मान हूँ, मैं हसन बिन कायर बिन मुहतदी बिन हादी बिन निज़ार बिन मुस्तनसिर बिल्लाह. हमारी इमामत का सिलसिला हमेशा जारी रहेगा, हम आपकी वफादारी से खुश हैं. माजी में आपने अजीम कुर्बानियां दी हैं जिनको हम कबूल फरमाते हैं, हम आपको बरकत से नवाजते हैं. आज मैंने आपको शरीयत और उसके कानून के मानी बताए हैं, मैं तुम्हें इस कानून से आजाद करता हूँ. Imam is saying that I am getting you freed from the कानून of शरीयत. इस कानून की सूरत की कैद से कानून के मानी की तरफ रिहाई देता हूँ. So this is very important component, that the form of the Shari Kanun, which is Zahir, I am moving all of you towards going into the form of Batin. So कानून, ज़ाहिरी कानून से बातिनी कानून की तरफ जो है वो रिहाई देता हूँ. You break the fast, आप रोजा मनाएं, रोजा खोल दें और खुशियां मनाएं. And then that day is called Eidul Qiyam. And he introduced himself, sent blessings, and explained the law of Shariat, and announced that he freed his murid from the chain or the forms of Shariat to its meaning. So now, going from the Shariat of a Zahir to the meaning of that Shariat. So meaning of that Shariat is more important than the form of Shariat. Form of Shariat is there, but its meaning is far more important than its form, its Zahiri form. And then he ordered to break the fast, and then Ismailis celebrated Eid. This is mentioned in Ismaili and Rubina also. So fasting basically is recognizing Noor of Ali, and as Yasmin clearly explained, that Roza is basically Riyazat. So the purpose of fasting or purpose of any ibadat is to reaching at the level of Noor of Ali, as Maula Ali has said that I am the Salat of Mu'min, I am the fast, I am Hajj of Mu'min. So in Khutbatul Bayan, Maula Ali is saying that I am fast, I am Roza, and I am Hajj, I am Namaz. What does that mean? That means that Noor of Ali, which is the Imam of the time, actually is the fast, is namaz, is roza, is hajj. So everything goes to the destiny, because the reach, our destiny is the noor of Imam Zaman. And fast of Hakiki Momin is therefore 360 days. And if you do not torture others, you do not do any bad, then this is the Roza. So Roza is not just the Roza of your uh, your like food, but Roza of Khayal, Roza of doing good things, not having bad thinking. So these are the roza of every parts of your body. The whole year, like in Pir Pandiyate Jawan Mardi Imam said, that the whole year you must fast, just an ordinary Muslim fast a month. Control yourself, keep yourself away from bad qualities, evil indecencies. Why? So the mirror of your heart may be gradually be polished. So by doing this fasting every day, every minute, every second, you are polishing, we all are polishing the mirror of our heart. Imam is saying that you have to polish the mirror of the heart, you have to cleanse the mirror of the heart. Once this is being polished, then you can easily see the noor of the Imam. But if the mirror of the heart, or if your heart is not being polished, is with not a good quality, and there are evils inside the heart, then that means that we are not keeping the roza. So the purpose of roza, purpose of fasting for 360 days is to cleanse the mirror gradually, so that it can be polished and we can see the noor of Imam Zaman in our heart. So Roza means austerity, Roza means riyazat, and with that riyazat, the purification of heart is possible by dissolving carnal soul. And if we remember Du'a Noor, we pray in the Du'a Noor that Allahumma ja'alli nooran fi qalbi, nooran fi sam'i, nooran fi basri. So Ya Mola, to give me noor in my heart, in my ears, in my eyes, in my tongue, in front of me, in behind me, above me, and below me. So in all directions and in all parts of body, we pray for Noor. But if we do not do Riyazat, and if we do not do Ibadat, and if we do not do Roza 360 days, and we just do this prayer, then we all have to think that will this prayer work? So it is Dua Noor is very much connected with the Roza of 360 days. Roza of all the times, Roza of all the seconds. We have to refrain from all the body parts to not to do any action which is evil. Like we have to control our heart for not getting the big thoughts. We have to control the tongue to not do anything which hurts people, or any ribat, so any backbiting, such a things. For Rosa of the year, to not to do any like burai. So these kinds, we have to think that our all body parts are doing good deeds, so that Noor can enter in all parts of the body, above us, below us, behind us and in front of us. So that we will be protected with the Noor through this 360 days of Rosa or Riyazat. So the Tawil of Rosa, which is given by Pir Nasir Khusro in one of his great book, which is a face of Islam, a face of religion. He says that this ayat, which says that Shahrul Ramzan al-Lazi unzala fihi al-Quran hudal lin-nasi, the month of Ramazan in which was revealed the Quran, a guidance for mankind and clear proof of guidance, and a criterion. Criterion means a standard is set that what is right and what is wrong. And whosoever you witnesses that month, let him fast. So if Ramzan is for the month which fasting is necessary and important, that means that Ramzan, the month of the Ramzan, is actually ninth month. In Islamic calendar, Ramzan is a ninth month, and if we see from Mustajib to Aklekul, Ali and the Asas is the ninth number. So that ninth number is, if all months are the ranks, then number ninth rank is Ramzan, and Ramzan is the rank of Asas, who is Maula Ali. So Maula Ali is bestowed with the secret of Noor, and whoever understands the secret of Asas, whoever is trying to get the marifat of Asas, should not reveal it prematurely. So if we are getting something, if we are getting secrets of Asas, if we are getting secrets of spirituality of Asas, then until and unless we are confirmed and we are certain, then it is not important for us to reveal all those secrets to anyone who is not mature enough to take all those secrets. So once we give the spiritual guidance of Asas or Marifat of Asas, it is very important that we need to assess that we should not give somebody secrets of Asas very prematurely, or the person who is unable to take that secret. And since Rosa is an Arabic word for Rosa is Som, and it is also mentioned in when Maryam says that I have vowed a fast to Allah, so I shall not speak to any man today. So when Maryam kept the Rosa, that doesn't mean that she has fasted for the food, but also she was fasting that she will not reveal any secret to any prematurely to anyone who is not ready to take up those secrets. And now the Eid. So we break the fast after Ramzan, and the day of the Eid for the breakers of the fast is called Fitr. So Fitr means to liberate, to freed. Once the people have done fasting, then they are asked to celebrate. So this day, which is Eid al-Fitr, according to Wajiddin, which is the book of Pir Nasir Khusro, this day signifies the Asas because Eid liberates people from fasting, from food and drink, and from weakness, and to gain strength. So now strength has been gained, liberate people. This is Zahiri significance. Now what Momin will do for this liberation, that Momins are liberated by Asas as the Momin will get Tawil. So when the Momin started to get the Tawil and will liberated from the lack of knowledge, that means that Momin is gaining the strength, and when they receive the Tanzil and the Tawil. So when Momin started gaining a Tawil of all Quranic ayat, all Quran Tawili things when Mu'min started to gaining their knowledge. That means that now that Mu'min is liberating and getting the strength with Tanzil and the Tawil. So at that time, they should assemble on the day and then rejoice. So Mu'min understand, and this is the Tawil. Pir Nasir Khusro has said that Mu'min now understand all hads, all hudud, intellectual, intellect, soul, jad, fatah, khayal. So all the levels above the asas, he's getting the understanding, and they recognize them and discuss with one another and rejoice by the tawil of asas. So asas is responsible to give the tawil of the tanzil which is mentioned in the Quran. So when we get tawil, and when we get a tawili explanation of any surat, any ayat, in ourselves also we get strength. We get inner happiness when we get those tawil and get those knowledge. We are so happy. That means that we are happy and we rejoice because it touch our souls, and it reaches to our souls from the asas, and rejoicing become incumbent as they receive the tawil. So once we receive the tawil, gradually we start, because our soul is now happy and we are not frustrated with these all tanzili explanation. We connect those tanzili Quranic explanation with ourselves, with our own time, and with our own alam shaksi in our personal world. We connect all those ayats. We connect the life of Musa, we connect life of Isa, and all prophets' life, all prophets' stories to ourselves. Then we get happiness. We get those tawil, and then we get sustenance, we get strength, and then this is the time when we rejoice with the shukr guzari, and that is basically ilmi eating and ilmi drinking. The more you eat and more you drink the tawil, then more you will be, more we will be strengthening ourselves and strengthening our soul. So fast is part and parcel of life. It is not just for a month, and this is the progression from zahir to batin. So once if our responsibility and accountability is more than fasting in for a month only, and fasting in zahir only. So accountability for fasting for every part of the body, and throughout the time, throughout the year and the month and the weeks we are fasting. That means that our responsibility is far more greater than the other Muslims who are thinking that fasting is just for a month. Controlling the habits, ethical and moral and religious values, keeping it intact, and we control all of our organs to refrain from any evil actions. And also, it is also very important to respect our tariqa, Ismaili tariqa. We do not say that we do not fast, but we say that we are batini fasting in a batini sense, that we refrain from all, not just our mouth, but refrain from all evils of all the body parts, and not for a month, but for all of the years and all of the time. So that is the respect of our tariqa, and also Dua Noor will work for us best when we keep the Batini Roza. With that, this is all about the fasting, and there's a chapter in Wajedin which gives explanation, and I have used that chapter of Roza and Eid al-Fitr, and the chapter which Allama Sahib has explained about the nature, and the Islam is the religion of nature. So these two books I have referred for this lecture. Thank you.
Subhanallah, Dr. Saiba and Yasmin Saiba. Friends, if you have any question, please share in the chat room. I think the first question is for Yasmin Saiba. Friends asking, when you mention Surah Qadr that all angels have descended, who are those angels that descended? Do we see them or know them, or are they hidden?
Uh, Thank you for your question. The angels are hidden, but their task but their work is manifest. So if we take the cycle of our beloved 48th Imam, according to Ayah Khazain, wa in min shayin illa indana khazainahu wa ma nunazzilu illa biqadri ma'lum. Every single thing, be it physical, spiritual, intellectual, comes from the treasury of God. All the scientific advancements that were made, political advancements as well, social, ethical, all the advancements, but specifically scientific advancements in the time of our beloved 48th Imam, is through the angels descending. How the quantum leap from horse carriages to intergalactic travel in the time of our beloved 48th Imam, right? They got their ideas, but they know not where the ideas came from.
So please explain the concept of the whole universe within you.
This roadmap is given to us by Professor Ramaß+ì, where he tells us that within our personal world, every single particle of every single human being is in our personal world. That's why on the day of judgment, we will be responsible for all the subjects within us. And therefore, we have heard Nur Maulana Shakri Mulusini Hazimam cite the Quranic reference of he who kills a human life, it is as though he killed the entirety of humanity. Right? That is because the potential of every single person who is within us is destroyed. That's why if we know ourselves, then we know our Lord, because within our personal world, there is the potential through our zikr, our ibadat, our fikr, reflections, the balance, the bird, remember, balance between knowledge and action, the love for the Imam of the time. Every single particle within us gets activated and it slowly but gradually transcends.
Like Maula Ali has said that there is a whole universe inside you. Do not consider yourself a small body, but the whole universe is encompassed in your personality. So that is the concept of macrocosm and microcosm. The whole universe is potentially within our personality.
So another question in context of the question earlier regarding that angels descended. So what is the name of the main angel who visits us during that time?
I'm not sure I know how to answer that. The descending of angels, especially in the month of Ramadan and Laylatul Qadr, because that's what our focus is, right? It has a very different understanding because it refers to Zahur, the manifestation of Ali Allah. And because of his manifestation, angels in the form of progress, right? They also inspire the scientists.
So actually in the angel also, like there is a concept of all of the angel in one angel. Like we say that we all human beings in our personal world. So if there is a big angel, or maybe if we see Aklikul, Nafsekul, or particularly Imam of the time, if Imam we considered is a big angel, then all other angels are in that encompasses in that angel. So it's not one, there are many angels. It descend, and it descend for people, and it descend in our heart. Actually, it's not in the this physical world, but in Laylatul Qadr and in this when we polish our heart with rosa, then we may receive that angel or angelic strength is um, uh, like descending in our heart.
Another question here. How does the angels enlighten the murid spiritually in Laylatul Qadr?
Well,
I
okay,
think,
so
yeah, so we already have discussed that this is the enlightenment which we receive from the angels. Basically, angels, if we can see, or maybe sometimes we can discuss that what angels means. Angels are actually the form, subtle form of human being, but they are all the time doing tasbih and are involved in ilmi activities. So they are angels. So like Allama Sahib explained that all Ismailis can be considered angels because they are from the Imam of the time. They are obeying the Imam. So that means that we are also a true Ismaili is also angel in the form of human being. It's not only the difference is that we are not subtle. So our all subtle activity which we cannot see, it's the angelic activity, it's the angelic strength. Sometimes we see that, oh, you are now you come to like help me, and you become the angel in my life. You enter as an angel in my life. So angel means always praying for the people of the world, and always helping the people of the world, and obeying imams and obeying Allah, and getting true knowledge.
So another question. Please explain the relation of number 9 with Hazrat Ali as Asas Imam.
So if we see Wajedin, which is written by King Nasir Khusro, and um, the level in the Shariat, like if we start from Mustajib, Mazoon, then Da'i, then Hujjat, and then Asas, like Mazoon has also two categories, Mustajib has also two categories. So there are 12 levels, and each month is each level. So if the month of Muharram, if Islamic calendar start from Muharram, then that is level of Mustajib. And when we go up at the level of ninth, which is Ramzan, this is the level of Asas. So now those levels are not actually actualized in Ismailism, because now we have reached to level of oneness. But at the time of Shariat, these levels were pretty much um, delineated and pretty much followed in the Ismaili teaching. So these are the levels. So there are 12 levels, and out of those 12, number 9 is the level of Asas.
How do we evaluate our own level as moment? How do we know if we are moment enough to be exempt from the Zahiri fasting while being expected to practice Batini fasting when we do not know what Batini level we are on? Can we actually consider ourselves unless we are not obeying the Imam and living ethically?
So this is like this is important question, but this is question to be asked to ourselves, that maybe reflecting the whole day, what things we have done good, what things we have not done correctly. And there are some standards, there are some markers to assess ourselves. One marker is sukoon and happiness and celebration, the strength in strength of the soul. So if the soul is happy, if our soul is strengthened, if our soul is energized with ilm and ibadat, then automatically this is not something which will be hidden. That soul will tell you. You will be pursukoon, you will be in peace, you will be happy, even though there may be a lot of difficulties around you, but then you feel happy and you feel peaceful because there is the reflection of soul coming. The other standard or the marker is dream. So you may get a good dream. The other is your thinking. You start having the positive thinking. You looking the world in a positive manner. So that positivity will come if you think that you have kept rosa of all of the body parts. So the answer will automatically be given to you by the reflection of your soul and your intellect.
Another question. Please clarify. The physical fast only in the month of Ramadan is not mandatory for those who are at the level of Haqiqat. This does not mean that we Ismailis are all exempted from physical rosas, as some of us may not be at the Haqiqat level. Doesn't this quote mean that we need to fast physical rosas and batini rosas?
We see Imam's Farman at the time of Al-Maut. So if we are Ismailis from that Al-Maut period, Imam has actually said that go and break the fast. So as I said, that nature is a progression. So once we have moved from that now at the 17th Ramzan, Imam Allah Salam has said that you go and get your you eat and then break your fast, and then I have freed you from this physical fast. So now that means that we all Ismailis have moved from this Zahiri Rosa towards the Batini Rosa. So once we go to the school and go to the university, upgraded to the university or the college, nobody would like to go back again to the school. So once the umbilical cord is cut, infant is there, fetus is out, then you will not like to, or people will not connect that umbilical cord again. And if we think that I want to go into my childhood and wear my clothes which I was wearing at the time of my childhood, it will not fit. So we are being freed from the Zahiri Rosa at 23rd Imam, and since then it is not mandatory for Ismaili to fast this Zahiri fast of Ramzan. I'm not saying that fasting is not mandatory or Rosa is not mandatory, but it is the Zahiri fasting towards the Batini. Now we have moved towards the larger mandate, larger responsibility. So why to take this small and shorter accountability and shorter responsibility if we have moved and if we have progressed? So it is important. Yeah, we can fast because if we want to improve our habit of eating, if we want to improve our habit of like too much eating or something else, then we can, that is something else. But Zahiri fasting in the month of Ramzan for Ismailis, and Imam also has said that now the fasting is for 360 days. So that means that it is not only for a month, but it is for 360 days. And you know that for 360 days, nobody can do this Zahiri fasting. That means the Imam is talking something else, a larger mandate, a larger responsibility to the murid. So if people are in Zahiri level also fasting, they can do it. Imam is, or there is no Farman where clearly it is said that do not fast in Ramzan. But if the Imam is saying that fasting for Ismaili is not for a month, it is for 360 days, that means that we are not mandatory saying to you that follow this Shariat of fasting of Ramzan.
Another question. I'm not sure if I understood correctly, but is it Ramadan is one of the names of Allah?
Yes, we can say, because this is the rank of Asas. So if we consider Asas and Ali Allah, then this could be the name of Allah. But in the 99 names, it is not being physically listed.
Remember the reference of the hadith where Holy Prophet says that Ramadan is one of the names of God. And then remember Mullah Ali saying where he says, I am the meaning of Ramadan. It's very interesting. This is the greatest gift, right? So as mentioned earlier, our intention is pluralism. We are building bridges with everybody, with Muslims alike, with Sunnis, with Shias, Christians, Buddhists, everybody, right? We are building bridges, confident in educating others about our form of fasting, so that we are not always judged by others at the level of Sharia, right?
And once we have accepted the Imam of the time as the Imam of the time, and we have said that yes, Hazar Imam is the Imam of the time, and we have accepted at whatever level we are actually Ismailis, and then that Farman is for us. So those who says that Imam is Hazar Imam is the Imam of the time, and we accept that Imam, then that means that level could be different, but we are Ismailis.
Because I think today, because of media pressure, there's so much pressure upon us as Ismailis because of media hype and everything. I could be wrong, but from what I see is that perhaps we are a little bit lazy in upholding the esotericism, like the spiritual aspect or the Ismaili perspective of our faith.
Yeah, and like we all have to satisfy ourselves that if we are not fasting, somebody I've seen that we feel guilty if we don't fast. So this is not a guilt. This is like a blessing for us that we are freed from this physical fast, so that we can move towards this batini fast and spiritual fasting. So there is nothing to be like we have to be very confident that in ourselves that what we are doing is true and exactly what we are doing according to Imam's farman and Imam's guidance.
Another question. Is it not true that Imam also performs the physical fast?
It's possible. Again, it's bridge building, right? And it's extending, practicing pluralism. But in my understanding, I never ever do what the Imam does. I always do what the Imam tells me to do. Because the actions of the Imam of the time are so profound and so unique and so beautiful that with my limited intellect, I may not understand it. So personally, I never ever do what the Imam does, but I always do what he tells me to do.
So I'm really having a hard time with today's session, because I feel like, absolutely, I agree. The Imam is asas, and what the Imam says is what we should be practicing. So once we're at that level of hakiki, where we truly recognize what does it mean to follow the Imam, and we are actually, practicing through our actions, we are more Muslim, and no one would question us our fasting, because we would, in our recognition of the Imam as humble people who need to bridge ourselves with the rest of the ummah, in a form of taqiyya, we would fast, not because we are, stuck in the shariati of the physical fast. I think that we have to transcend the physical fast, not that we're exempt and we're superior to the other Muslims who need to. I think that we should maintain that humility in our presentation of that. Yes, we are and it's not just us who are exempt from mandatory things. All Muslims do not have, in Islam, there is no compulsion. So, we all are offered this opportunity to exercise our aql and practice what we can. But I think that for us as Ismailis to have this sense of pride that we don't have to fast, I think that is something that is like Rubina mentioned, that Dr. Rubina mentioned, that we only share our secrets when we see the other person is ready. And if we ourselves are not ready, we're not even at the Hakiki fast, let alone the Zahiri fast is a step towards the Hakiki fast. So I think if you're not at the level of Hakiki and you are not being ethical, you backbite, you lie, you are not ethical, then you know you're not at the stage where we can exempt ourselves. We're not at the position to be exempting ourselves as Hakiki Momins, I believe. This is my understanding and my and especially I see the Imam fasting, maybe not for the same reasons, for the Shariati reason, but to be inclusive and humble. We should definitely take note of the Imam's actions. I often take Imam's actions as humble, as always being gracious to people, whether they're deserving or not. So I'm really worried when some of us Ismailis speak to other, because I have a lot of family members who no longer practice Ismaili faith because of some of the hypocrisy in our community to super levels. So I'm worried that some of us might misinterpret the ways we are approaching this, because unless our Islam, our ethics are in our actions, they should speak louder than our words. Oh, we are exempt from fasting, and there we are drinking or doing whatever we want to do, and then saying, oh, we're these specialist Muslims that are exempt from these Shariati levels. I think we are not exempt from Shariat until we are at the Hakiki stage ourselves, and we recognize and obey the Imam in every one of our actions, so that no one will question us, because our ethics are bar none, our behavior is humble, that we are speaking, and acting in a soft way. I think arrogance is so apparent in so much of our community. Many people have left because of this problem.
Quickly respond to this, and then Dr. Rubina can take over. So thank you. I think it was ST, right? So thank you for sharing your thoughts. I think language is really important when it comes to arrogance. And if we obey the Imam of the time, our ethic will by necessity be in place. Without intellectual humility, there is no grasping, no understanding, no realization. So I'm not sure why sometimes we consider fellow Ismailis to be either arrogant or show off.
Yeah, people do argue with this fasting only. Have you seen that this fasting will give humility? Like, I have not seen people being humble when they are in fasting. They become more aggressive in fasting. And is it sure, will it be sure that when you're fasting, your ethics will be improved? I have not seen that. So what this fasting gives to us, so that's where Imam is not saying that you do not fast. Imam is saying that you are freed from this physical fast so that you can move towards the Batini fast. So if we do fast, and if our anything in the ethical behavior does not change, in fact it increases your frustrations because of food or whatever, you are unable to work, you are unable to do a lot of good things which you are doing in a daily life, then the purpose of fasting is, what is the purpose? So that's what Imam is telling us, to move towards the purpose of the fasting. With the fast, if we are able to do all those things, and you see that after fasting you feel very good, you are secure, you are peaceful, it gives you good ethics, then we can say yes, this is only Zahiri fast will give all those things. Imam is teaching that do the Batini fast, protect yourself from all bad deeds, from which is done by all parts.
Hello, Yali Madat. I just want to say one thing, because yesterday I told my friend, she was fasting, so she said, I fast, me and my husband fast all month. Don't you fast? I said, no, fasting is not compulsory for us. And I don't think it's a fasting is, necessary for us. He says, well, if Princess Zara was fasting, Mora Papa was fasting, so why didn't they give us an example? Because there was some kind of a program one places, and they in the meeting then Princess Zara and Mola Papa was there, and everybody started eating. So Princess Zara says, "Oh, nobody's fasting today. Only me and my father are fasting." So they say this is the thing they answer me. They said if they can do it, why can't we do it? If they can do it, we're supposed to do it.
It was lost, yeah. But I hope that I have
Language is important again. It's not that we are not fasting. Our form of fasting is different. So I find it really helpful when I articulate to friends that I'm not physically fasting, but I'm fasting through my actions and deeds. To each his own religion, to each his own practice. Like I said, it's a pluralistic celebration of all of us coming together. And, whatever one wants to do, one is free to do. But I'm only trying to say that, there should be mutual respect. And as an Ismaili, as an ambassador for Islam, it is my responsibility to convey to the universe, to humanity, what my esoteric beliefs are and what my esoteric form of fasting is. Because if I never ever share with friends or colleagues, I'm always being judged by the standard that they look at me through. They look at me through their lens. And I want to build a bridge, and I want to share my lens. I want to share my understanding. And I don't think there's a sense of pride in doing that. I think it's in fact, pluralism is to bring out uniqueness in each other's faith and cultures and beliefs. So if I never share it with everyone, then maybe I'm not practicing pluralism in my understanding, but my practice and my belief, and we celebrate in different ways. And I respect and I value each and everyone's beliefs and understandings.
Yeah, Ali Madad, may I make a comment?
Well, Almada, thank you, Priya.
Yeah, I would just listen to some of the conversation, and I'd just like to make a comment that I find some of these different positions or different points that are being articulated very interesting. And I think that it reflects the sort of challenge that there is inherent when one belongs to what is called an esoteric or a batini tariqa. And, Imam has actually made very clear that our tariqa is not exoteric. He has specifically made those words that we are not exoteric and that we are esoteric. And I'm just pointing that out because sometimes some people say that we're actually both. Now, of course, there's always a certain level of Zahiri practice in all faiths, of course. But there was a particular challenge when one belongs to an esoteric tariqa. And I think some of the difficulties or differences in positions that we have reflects that inherent challenge, right? Meaning regards to the nature of fasting. What does it mean? Physical, spiritual, batini, hakiki, all these terms and levels of understandings of fasting, we could apply the same discussion, the same questions, the same challenge to other practices. For example, why is it that Ismaili Tariqa has a sort of a different position on the Hajj? Or what is our position on Hajj? If we say that all Muslims fast in a certain physical way, and as Ismailis, we are also Muslim, we must also fast in that physical same way because all Muslims do. One can say that, how about the Hajj? One can bring up a question about why does one not face a particular direction, for example, facing Mecca in our prayers. One might respond that the Ismaili faces a direction internally in their heart, meaning we're facing God through our heart and our intentions, and one can respond that, okay, so fasting is the same similar aspect. So my point is that I think there'll always be sort of this level of back and forth of understanding. And I think that is precisely the point, is that when we say that fasting, we don't say fasting is not obligatory. We're talking about there's different levels of understanding and different forms of fasting. In that sense, one should not say that simply we do not fast. But the point is that it's not, when we say it's not obligatory, is that we're coming to a level of understanding the purpose, using intellect, of adhering to what we truly believe is the purpose of fasting, right? So that it's not done for force. It's not done where someone says that you must be fasting. Of course, one can fast, but it's not something which should be done by force. One must decide on their own level, are they fasting in the hakiki sense, a physical sense, both? And I think that is the beauty of the esoteric tariqah, that it gives primacy to individual choice and free will of how to practice in line with the guidance given by the Imam at the time. So just a comment I wanted to make.
Yeah, thank you, Khayal. Yeah, I truly agree with what you said, that yes, we are esoteric. So that's the reason it is not mandatory, but it gives, this fast gives you something which is peaceful to you, which gives happiness, then you can do it. But in that sense, the Lahiri fast is not mandatory.
Bouncing off from what Khayal was saying, and at the beginning we were also talking about how Islam is a religion of nature, right? Surah Rum 30:30. It is really beautiful to realize and understand that when flowers fall on the ground, then only can raw fruit come, and then ripe fruits. If we want to develop ourselves, our personal world, then understand those levels on Sirat al-Mustaqim and how forms need to change, otherwise there is no progress.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saiba and Yasmin Saiba. Yali Madad.
Allah Madad. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Yali Madad.
Thank
Thank you, Yani Mother. It was a wonderful
Thank
session.
you
Lots
very,
of
very much.
things to
It was very
reflect.
nice.
Thank you.